They kick in the wrong door. At the wrong time. Wood splinters across the hardwood floor. 3 officers storm through the wreckage. Flashlights cut through the darkness like swords. The lead detective's boot crunches the broken door frame. His sergeant follows, hand on weapon. Behind them, their captain surveys the destruction. Pause for tension. Imagine waking up to your worst nightmare. But what if it's not a nightmare at all? What if it's your greatest opportunity? The woman bolts up right in bed, sheets tangled around her legs. Harsh light blinds her for a moment. She's wearing nothing but underwear and a tank top. Hands where we can see them. The detective barks. She raises her hands slowly, her eyes adjusting to the chaos. Furniture overturned, drawers yanked open, paper scattered everywhere. Then. The detective's flashlight beam freezes. On the bedroom wall hangs a navy blue jacket. Gold letters spell FBI across the back. The light holds steady for 3 seconds. The detective's radio crackles. The sergeant's breathing changes. Something shifts in the room's energy. The jacket hangs there like a silent witness. But they don't stop. They can't stop now. Starting in the middle of explosive action, while immediately establishing the central twist that drives the entire story. Wrong target. Federal agent, build suspense, but here's the hook that changes everything. She's not just any agent. She's been hunting them for years. And tonight, they just handed her the win. She watches them tear through her bedroom with the calm of someone taking inventory. Her eyes track badge numbers. She notes exact times on the digital clock. When the sergeant roughly searches her dresser, she memorizes his face. Most victims panic. She calculates. The detective finds her purse on the nightstand. His hands move with practice speed. Too practiced. He slides something small into the side pocket before pulling it back out. Well, he announces. Look what we have here. The woman's lips curve into the faintest smile. Her federal ID folder sits in plain sight on the dresser. They walked right past it. On her nightstand, an encrypted phone charges silently. 15 years of federal cases live in that device. The detective holds up a small plastic bag. White powder catches the flashlight beam. The woman's fingers trace the edge of her bedsheet. Underneath, something they missed entirely. The phone on her nightstand holds 15 years of secrets. The detective has no idea who he just woke up, but she knows exactly why they're here. This isn't random. This isn't a mistake. This is the moment she's been waiting for. The federal case files scattered across her floor tell a different story than the one they think they're writing. Her digital recorder, hidden in the bedroom lamp, has been running since the door exploded. Every word, every planted piece of evidence, every illegal entry, all of it captured. The sergeant searches her closet now. His hands shake slightly as he works. Good. He should be nervous. The woman remains perfectly still, but her mind races through rules, evidence steps, rights abuses, civil rights law. They have no idea what they've just walked into. The woman sits straighter on her bed. I need to see your warrant. We don't need a warrant for a noise complaint. Sweetheart, you do for a search this big. Her voice carries authority that makes the sergeant pause mid-search. You've gone beyond any noise check. The detective's jaw tightens. You some kind of lawyer. I know my rights under the 4th Amendment. She keeps her voice level. Professional. This is an illegal search. The captain steps forward from the doorway. Ma'am, we got reports of drug activity at this address. From who? What exact cause justified forced entry? 3 men exchange glances. The question hangs in the air like smoke. The sergeant recovers first. Anonymous tip. Said you were dealing. Anonymous tips don't justify searches of private homes. The woman's legal knowledge flows effortlessly. Miranda v. Arizona. Terry v. Ohio. Map v. Ohio. The detective's face darkens. You think you're smart. I think you're breaking federal law. The words hit like a slap. Federal law. Not state law. Federal. The captain clears his throat. Let's just get her processed. But the woman isn't done. I need your badge numbers. All 3 of you. You're not in a position to make demands. The sergeant growls. Every citizen has the right to identify officers doing searches. She looks directly at each man. Badge numbers. Now. The detective's hand instinctively covers his badge. You don't need a. The law disagrees. Her calm persistence unnerves them. Most suspects they arrest are panicked, confused, easy to handle. This woman picks apart their steps like a surgeon. The captain provides his number reluctantly. The others follow. She repeats each number back perfectly, locking them in memory. I also need confirmation that your body cameras are recording. The sergeant's hand moves to his chest cam. The red light blinks steadily. They're recording. Good. So, when this goes to federal court, there'll be a full record. Federal court. There's that word again. The detective leans closer. Listen, lady. We found drugs in your house. You can cooperate ... or we can make this real hard for you. Are you threatening me? I'm giving you options. The woman studies his face. Option 1. I confess to crimes I didn't do. Option 2. You make up more charges. The room goes silent except for radio static. You got a smart mouth, the sergeant says. I have rights. The detective pulls out handcuffs. You're under arrest for possession of a controlled substance. As the metal clicks around her wrists, the woman speaks clearly toward the body cameras. I'm being arrested based on planted evidence. The officers did an illegal search without cause or warrant. I did not agree to this search. Shut up, the detective hisses. I have the right to stay silent. But I also have the right to speak. Her voice never wavers. This is a false arrest based on fake evidence. The sergeant grabs her arm roughly. Move. She complies but keeps speaking. I'm requesting immediate legal help. I'm requesting a supervisor. I'm requesting a review of the body camera footage. Each request follows proper rules. Her knowledge of steps is too sharp, to pro. The captain studies her carefully. Something isn't right. As they lead her through the destroyed living room, she lists every violation: rough handling, unlawful entry, evidence messing, rights abuses. The detective's next question makes the sergeant's hand freeze. How do you know so much about police steps? The woman doesn't answer. She doesn't need to. Her federal ID folder still sits on the dresser, unnoticed. But her silence speaks louder than words. The planted evidence isn't the only thing out of place in this room. At the front door, the sergeant realizes she knows more than any regular person should. Her questions are too specific. Her words too exact. Her calm too total. Normal people don't quote case law during arrests. Normal people don't ask for body cam reviews. Normal people don't know federal court steps. The detective pushes her toward the patrol car, but doubt creeps into his voice. You ever been arrested before? No. Then how do you? How do I what? Her question flips the questions back. The detective doesn't finish his sentence. Can't finish it? Because the answer might be worse than he's ready for. The sergeant opens the car door. Radio chatter fills the night air. Dispatch calls filter through static. Normal police work goes on while they make the biggest mistake of their lives. The woman slides into the back seat without fight. Through the window, she watches them collect evidence from her home. They bag the planted drugs. They photo the damage they caused. They note everything except the truth. But the truth notes itself. Her encrypted phone still charges on the nightstand. Her federal files still scatter across the floor. Her ID still sits in plain sight. And the digital recorder in the bedroom lamp still runs. The detective slams the car door. Through the glass, she hears him talking to the captain. Something's off about her. How so? She knows too much. The captain glances back at the car, at the woman sitting calmly in custody. Run her name when we get to the station. Already planning it. But they've waited too long, made too many errors, left too much proof. The woman in the back seat isn't their victim. She's their mid-story hook to pull them deeper. Think your house is safe. What if the real danger wears a badge? And you've been the hunter all along? The patrol car pulls away from the destroyed house. Broken glass glitters in the streetlights behind them. The detective drives while the sergeant rides shotgun. The captain follows in a separate vehicle. Standard steps for high-value arrests. But this isn't standard anything. The woman sits in the back cage, hands cuffed behind her. The metal wall separates her from the officers. She uses the window reflection to study their faces. The sergeant turns around. You gonna tell us what you really do for work? She doesn't respond. Strong, silent type. Huh. The detective adjusts his rearview mirror. We'll see how long that lasts. Through the radio, dispatch crackles with routine calls. Domestic fight on 5th Street. Traffic stop on the highway. The night keeps its normal beat. They have no clue what they've started. The sergeant's voice drops to a whisper. Think she heard anything about the probe? The detective glances in the mirror. What probe? You know what probe? A pause. The radio fills the quiet. She can't know about that, the detective says finally. But doubt runs through his voice. The woman memorizes every word, every slip, every sign. They turn onto Main Street. The police station glows ahead, all concrete and bright lights, a fortress of paperwork where they'll try to lose her in the system. The detective parks in the prisoner drop area. Security cameras track their arrival. Listen, the sergeant says, turning around again. This can go easy or hard. Depends on you. The woman meets his eyes through the wall. Which way saves your jobs? The question hits like cold water. The detective kills the engine. What's that supposed to mean? It means you should think hard about your next steps. The sergeant's laugh sounds forced. Lady, you're the one in cuffs. For now, 2 words, simple, quiet, scary. The detective gets out first, opens her door. The cuffs bite into her wrists as he helps her stand. We're gonna teach you some respect, he mutters. She doesn't fight as he guides her toward the building. But she notes every rough grab, every extra push, every break of transport rules. The body cameras catch it all. Inside the station, fluorescent lights buzz overhead. The booking desk sergeant looks up from his papers. What we got? Cocaine possession. Resisting arrest, the woman speaks clearly. I didn't resist arrest. Shut up, the detective snaps. The booking sergeant frowns. Something in her voice doesn't fit the charges. I need to make a phone call. You'll get your call when we say so. That's against the rules. The booking sergeant's frown deepens. Ma'am, you have the right to. She knows her rights. The detective cuts in. She won't stop talking about them. Standard booking starts. Fingerprints, photos, property check. When they process her wallet, the booking sergeant pauses. Says here, you work for the federal government. The detective's hand freezes over the keyboard. What kind of federal work? The woman stays quiet. She doesn't need to talk. Her job check will do it. The booking sergeant types her info into the system. The computer runs the data, checks federal records. The screen flashes a warning. Detective, the booking sergeant calls. You need to see this. The detective approaches the terminal, reads the screen. His face goes pale. The woman's federal ID number triggers something big. The system flags her as a federal law officer, 15-year vet, current job internal affairs team. The detective's radio crackles with an urgent message. But it's too late for rush. They've crossed every line. The booking sergeant looks between the screen and the woman in cuffs. His training kicks in. Federal officers need special steps, alerts. I need to make some calls, he says quietly. The detective grabs his arm. Not yet, detective. If she's federal, she's a suspect. Nothing more. But the computer screen tells a different tale. And computers don't lie. The woman watches their panic grow. Sees the moment they get their mistake. The exact second their sureness breaks. She's been waiting 15 years for this. For these 3 officers to finally slip and give her what she needs to take them down. Tonight, they didn't just kick in the wrong door. They kicked in the door of the federal agent hunting them. Officer Sarah Johnson reviews the body camera footage in the equipment room. Her hands shake as she fast-forwards through the raid. The timestamp reads to 17 a.m. Door exploding inward. Woman in underwear, hands raised, calm voice asking for warrant info. Johnson rewinds, plays it again. Something's wrong with this arrest. The woman quotes law like a book, asks for badge numbers with pro-sharpness, knows federal court steps better than most lawyers. Johnson pauses the footage, studies the woman's face. No panic, no confusion, just cold planning, like she's collecting proof. The next clip shows the planted drugs. Johnson's stomach turns. The detective's hands move to smooth, to trained. He slides the baggie into the purse, then finds it right away. She's seen this before, heard whispers about evidence planting ... but never caught it on her own body cam. Johnson fast-forwards to the arrest. The woman's voice cuts through radio static. I'm being arrested based on planted evidence. Clear, direct, legally sharp. Johnson runs the woman's name through the federal database. The results make her blood freeze. FBI agent, 15 years of service, now on the public corruption team, the same team probing their department. Johnson's hands tremble as she reaches for her phone. The FBI tip line number is memorized, required for all officers. She dials. Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is Officer Johnson. Metro Police. I need to report a federal agent in custody. Silence on the line. Can you repeat that? We arrested a federal agent tonight. I think it was on purpose. The line goes quiet except for typing sounds. Agent's name. Johnson reads from the database. Diana Marshall, FBI Public Corruption Unit. More typing faster now. Officer, where is Agent Marshall now? Holding cell. They're trying to process her on drug charges. Are you sure about the drug charges? Johnson closes her eyes, sees the planted evidence again. The drugs were planted. I have it on body cam. The FBI agent's voice sharpens. Do not let anyone delete that footage. Do you understand? Yes, sir. We're sending a team. Keep Agent Marshall safe. The line goes dead. Johnson sits in the equipment room, surrounded by charging body cams. Each device holds bits of corruption, pieces of a puzzle she's finally seeing clear. Her radio crackles. Captain Wilson's voice cuts through static. All units, speed up the Marshall processing. I want her moved to county within the hour. Johnson's blood turns to ice. They're rushing the case, trying to hide it in the county system where federal watch is weaker. She grabs the evidence bag with Diana's personal items. Inside, mixed with wallet and keys, federal credentials, FBI Special Agent Diana Marshall. Badge number in gold medal, the same number on every probe report against their unit. Johnson puts it together. Diana isn't just any federal agent. She's the one hunting them, has been for months, maybe years. Every shady arrest, every iffy search, every planted evidence case Diana Marshall's name on the files. And tonight, they gave her everything to end them. Johnson's conscience fights her loyalty. These men trained her, protected her, became her second family. But family doesn't plant evidence on innocent people. Family doesn't break rights. Family doesn't arrest federal agents probing corruption. Her phone buzzes. Text from the detective. Delete the body cam footage. Equipment glitch. Johnson stares at the message at the clear order to block justice. She types back, copy that, but she doesn't delete. Instead, she uploads the footage to a secure federal server, the same one Diana probably uses for proof collection. Johnson's next choice will shape her career. And her soul. Captain Wilson appears in the doorway. Johnson, did you wipe that footage? Working on it, sir. Wilson studies her face, hunting for signs of betrayal. Good. This stays between us. Johnson nods. Of course, sir. But Wilson's push-ins. This isn't their first cover-up. The federal probe rumors suddenly click. Diana Marshall isn't just probing corruption. She's lived it, noted it, built an airtight case, and Johnson just became her key witness. FBI Assistant Director James Rodriguez gets Johnson's call at home. His secure phone buzzes on the nightstand. Federal emergency code. He answers on the first ring. Rodriguez, sir, this is Agent Marshall's handler. We have a situation. Rodriguez sits up fast. Diana Marshall is his top undercover hunter. 15 years of perfect work. What's the status? Local police arrested her an hour ago. Drug possession charges. The arresting officers are her targets. Rodriguez's jaw tightens. They made her, but they planted evidence. We have body cam proof. The assistant director is already grabbing his clothes. Where is she now? Metro Police holding. They're rushing county transfer. Negative. Stop that transfer now. Rodriguez wakes his emergency team while still on the phone. Federal quick response moves in minutes. Sir, there's more. Agent Marshall's emergency signal just turned on. Rodriguez freezes. Diana's signal only goes off in deadly danger. 30 seconds ago, the signal pops on Rodriguez's phone screen. GPS locks on the police station. Full federal response now. Rodriguez calls his number 2. Operation Cleanhouse is blown. Marshall's in custody. Jesus, how bad? They arrested our lead hunter while she gathered proof against them. Rodriguez's team meets at the federal building. Tactical groups, proof experts, internal affairs hunters. The corruption case they built for 2 years just turned emergency. Diana Marshall doesn't just know about police rot. She is the rot probe. Rodriguez briefs his team in the command van. Agent Marshall has been undercover for 18 months. Tonight's arrest gives us everything we need. How so? They just gave direct proof of the plot we've been chasing. The watch van parks outside the police station. Tech gear locks on inside talks. Police radios crackle with nervous chat. Officers talk damage control, keeping stories straight. Rodriguez listens through federal spy gear. Every word recorded, every plot noted. Sir, his comms officer reports, we're catching delete orders. They're trying to wipe body cam footage. Too late for that. Rodriguez opens Diana's case file. 15 years of raw probes, hundreds of noted breaks, dozens of officers named. Tonight's arrest links every bit. The watch van's gear hums quiet. Federal warrants ready. Signed. Set for action. Director, we have movement inside. They're moving Marshall to county. Not happening. Rodriguez radios his legal team. Run the federal warrants. Full control. The local police don't know what's coming. For 2 years, Diana Marshall gathered proof of total corruption, planted evidence, false arrests, rights breaks. She noted everything, and tonight, they handed her the last puzzle piece. Rodriguez checks Diana's signal again, still sending from inside the station. Team leads prep for quick entry. His radio crackles with yeses. Federal agents circle the building. Rodriguez's order flips it all. Full federal response now. The operation Diana Marshall built over 15 years is about to end. Not with her arrest, with theirs. The watch van's gear locks on the station's inside systems, body cam servers, proof, databases, internal talks, everything Diana needs to finish her case. And everything Rodriguez needs to kill the rot. Diana's signal shows she's right where they thought, in the heart of the plot. Gathering the last proof to smash it, Rodriguez speaks into his radio. All units, federal power is now active. The local police think they caught their biggest threat. They just woke their worst fear. Diana sits alone in interview room 3. Gray walls, metal table, single chair bolted to the floor. The fluorescent light flickers overhead like a fading pulse. The detective enters with a thick file folder, sets it on the table with showy flair. Let's talk about your drug business. Diana doesn't respond. Her eyes track the security camera in the corner. Red recording light blinks steady. We found cocaine in your house, high-grade stuff. Street value around $5,000, planted evidence. The detective leans back. You sure about that? I watched you plant it. That's a heavy claim. Diana's voice stays even. It's a noted fact. The detective opens his file. Pages of fake reports, made-up watch notes, built evidence chains. Says here you've been dealing for months. Your paperwork is fake. Multiple witnesses saw drug action at your address. Name one witness. The detective's pause drags too long. Anonymous sources don't hold in federal court. There's that word again. Federal. The detective's sureness cracks a bit. You think federal court will save you? Diana meets his eyes. I think federal court is where this ends. The sergeant enters without knock, whispers something urgent in the detective's ear. The detective's face hardens. Step outside. They leave Diana alone in the interview room. Through the thin walls, she hears heated talk. The computer flagged her as federal law. So what? So we arrested a federal agent. She's a drug dealer who works for the government. Detective, this is risky ground. Diana uses the alone time to list every break. Miranda warning late, phone call blocked, rough handling in transport. Each break boosts her case. The detective returns alone, slams the door harder than needed. Let's try this again. Who supplies your cocaine? I don't use or sell cocaine. The evidence says different. The planted evidence. His fist hits the table. Stop saying that. Diana doesn't flinch. Stop planting evidence. The detective leans across the table, crowds her space. Classic scare move. You think you're smart. Think you can outsmart us. Diana's next line makes his face drain white. I think you've been under federal probe for 2 years. The room goes dead quiet except for the flickering light. The detective straightens slow. What did you say? Operation Clean House. Ring any bells? The blood leaves his face. Operation Clean House is secret. Only federal hunters and top raw targets know that name. Diana keeps going, voice steady as rock. Systematic evidence planting, rights breaks, plot to rob citizens of protections. The detective's hands shake a little. How do you know about your crimes? She doesn't answer, doesn't need to. The detective backs to the door. I need to call Captain Wilson. Or your lawyer. He stops, hand frozen on the handle. "You should pick carefully," Diana says. "Your next choices count." The detective runs from the room, leaves Diana alone with her thoughts and the recording cam. Through the walls, she hears frantic calls, fixed meetings, panic spreading through the department like fire. Officer Johnson appears in the doorway. Nervous vibe from her uniform. "Mom, I brought you water." Johnson sets a paper cup on the table. Her hand brushes Diana's briefly. Something passes. Understanding. "Team up." Johnson slips Diana a folded paper. Small, hidden. Diana palms it without look. Waits till Johnson leaves before reading. "FBI knows. Help coming. Stay strong." Relief hits Diana's chest. The first good feeling all night. Her backup knows where she is. Captain Wilson's sudden back-off hints federal push building. The interview room door opens again. Wilson himself steps in. "Agent Marshall, I apologize for the mix-up. Agent Marshall, not suspect, not drug dealer. Agent." Wilson's nod drops the act. The game ends. Diana stands slow. "I'd like my phone call now." Of course, Johnson slips Diana something surprise as they walk to the phone. Her federal badge, pulled from evidence. Relief washes over Diana as she holds the known weight. Soon, very soon, the real probe starts. Captain Wilson walks Diana to the release desk. His smile looks fake. Pro-courtesy hiding pure fear. All charges dropped, pending more checks. The booking sergeant processes her release papers. His hands move fast. Too fast, eager to get her gone. Diana picks up her items, wallet, keys, federal ID, and her encrypted phone. 23 missed calls from FBI HQ. Wilson clears his throat. "We apologize for any hassle." Diana doesn't reply. She signs the forms quiet. No hard feelings. Wilson tries. Diana looks right at him. That remains to be seen. The words hang like a loaded gun. Outside the police station, dawn creeps over the horizon. Diana walks to her car, knowing they're watching, following her moves. She turns on full record mode on her phone. Every talk, every meet, every proof bit caught live. The phone buzzes right away. Rodriguez's voice cuts through static. "Marshall, you secure?" "Negative. Still under watch." "Copy that." Federal units in place. Diana starts her car, but doesn't pull out. She sits in the lot, phone to ear. "Status report," Rodriguez demands. "They gave us everything. Planted evidence on body cam. Rights breaks noted. Plot to block justice confirmed. Outstanding work." Through her rear view, Diana watches the station. Lights on in every window. Emergency meets going. "Sir, they know about Operation Cleanhouse." "How?" "I told them." Rodriguez's laugh crackles through. "Perfect. Let them panic." Inside the station, Wilson paces his office. The detective and sergeant sit across his desk like caught kids. "Do you get what you've done?" The detective's voice breaks. "We followed steps. You arrested a federal agent probing our department. We didn't know." "You should have." Wilson opens his desk drawer, pulls a thick file marked secret federal probe. "She's been watching us for 2 years. The sergeant goes pale. 2 years. Every arrest, every search, every planted evidence bit. Wilson throws the file across his desk. Pages fly. Inside notes, watch reports, evidence lists, all noting their rot, all signed by Diana Marshall. "She has it all," Wilson says quiet. The detective's phone buzzes. Text from unknown number. "Federal warrants in 30 minutes. Get a lawyer." His hands shake as he shows it to Wilson. "It's over," Wilson says. But Diana's phone shows different. Message from Rodriguez. "Federal raid starting. Operation Cleanhouse final stage." Diana starts her engine. Time to go home and wait. Wilson's delete order comes too late. The proofs already uploaded, safe, shared with federal lawyers. Body cam footage lives on FBI servers now. Out of local reach, the detective runs to the equipment room, finds the body cams linked to outside nets, federal nets. Every clip auto-back to FBI. "Johnson." He yells. But Johnson left an hour ago, called in sick, gone for good. Diana's phone buzzes with last yes. The federal probe she's built for 15 years is done. Every rot case noted, every rights break recorded, every plot mapped. Tonight's arrest wasn't their win. It was her proof grab. The biggest slip of their lives just became the base of her federal case. Diana pulls out of the lot. In her rear view, the station burns with desperate moves. Too little, too late. The real probe is about to start. And this time, she won't be the one cuffed. At exactly 6 a.m., black SUVs circle Metro Police Station. FBI tactical teams step out in tight form. Federal marshals take spots at every door. Assistant Director Rodriguez leads the action himself. Inside the station, Wilson watches through his office window. They're here. The detective and sergeant stand frozen as federal agents flood the front doors. Rodriguez's voice booms across the station. Federal Bureau of Investigation. This building is now under federal control. Officers scatter like scared birds. Some grab for guns. Others raise hands on instinct. Stand down, Rodriguez commands. All staff will follow federal orders. Wilson steps from his office, hands out. Director Rodriguez, this is out of line. Captain Wilson, you're under arrest for plot to break civil rights. The words echo through the station like shots. Federal agents swarm the place. Proof teams log computers. Tech pros download body cam clips. Legal experts hand warrants. The detective backs to the wall. This is crazy. Where cops? Rodriguez walks to him slow. Detective Morrison, you're under arrest for evidence messing, false lockup, and rights denial under law color. I want a lawyer. You'll get one. Rodriguez nods to his team. Bring her in. The front doors open again. Diana Marshall enters, no cuffs now. She wears her FBI jacket. Federal ID shown big. The whole station goes quiet. Rodriguez holds up Diana's badge for all to see. Special Agent Diana Marshall, lead hunter, Operation Clean House. The shock hits the room like a wave. Diana wasn't their victim. She was their judge. Rodriguez goes on, voice reaching every spot. Agent Marshall has probed this department for 15 years. 15 years. Every arrest they did while she watched. Every evidence plant while she noted. Every rights break she recorded. Morrison's face goes white. 15 years. Diana steps up. Her voice carries federal law power. Every illegal search. Every planted drug charge. Every rights break. She pulls her phone, the same encrypted one they skipped in the raid. 2,000 hours of watch footage, 300 recorded talks, 67 noted evidence plants. The numbers land like hammers. Rodriguez takes over. Agent Marshall's probe has led to federal charges against 23 officers. 23, almost half the department. Diana opens her case file. The real one. Federal notes spanning 15 years. Detective Morrison, 17 confirmed evidence plants, 43 illegal searches, 26 rights breaks. Morrison's knees give. Sergeant Bradley, 22 evidence mess-ups, 31 false arrest reports, plot to block justice. Bradley slumps to the wall. Captain Wilson, plot to run a crime group under law color. Total rights breaks on citizens. Wilson shuts his eyes. Diana keeps reading. Each name, each crime, each proof bit carefully noted. The federal probe she built block by block, case by case, break by break. Rodriguez talks to the room. Operation Clean House has noted total corruption over 2 decades. The timeline goes back farther than anyone thought. Diana wasn't probing new crimes. She was showing deep rot. Federal proof teams roll out computers, servers, file cabinets, body cams, anything with extra proof. Morrison finds words. We were just doing our jobs. Diana faces him straight. Planting drugs isn't cop work. It's crime plot. She turns on her phone speaker, plays raid audio. Morrison's voice clear. Look what we have here. The sound of the evidence bag from her purse. Then Diana's voice. I watched you plant it. The recording rolls. Every word, every threat, every break. Morrison's own body cam sold him out. Rodriguez explains to the stunt cops. Agent Marshall's emergency signal went on during booking. Federal watch caught everything. The bits clicked. Diana's calm in arrest. Her law smarts, her exact questions. She wasn't scared because she knew help was near. She was grabbing proof because that's what federal agents do. Rodriguez holds up another device. This digital recorder was hidden in Agent Marshall's bedroom lamp. It caught the whole raid. The detective who planted, the sergeant who threatened, the captain who ordered cover-up, all recorded, all noted, all good for federal court. Diana's 15-year probe ends in this moment. Every corrupt cop named, every crime noted, every victim cleared. The proof doesn't just show single bad acts. It shows total crime group. Rodriguez talks to the room one last time. Federal charges file in 24 hours. The justice machine starts turning. And Diana Marshall, after 15 years of patient work, finally has her case. Morrison's rot file is 6 inches thick. The proof goes back 15 years. Tonight wasn't about drugs or noise calls. It was about justice late. Finally served 6 months later, federal district court hums with weight. The rot trial of the decade hits its close. Diana Marshall sits at the prosecution table. 15 years of probes squeezed into proof boxes stacked 10 feet high. Judge Harrison checks the verdict forms. 23 on trial. Hundreds of charges. Total justice finally done. Has the jury reached a verdict? The foreman stands. We have, Your Honor. Morrison sits in the defendant's seat, federal orange swapping his cop uniform. His hands shake as the foreman speaks. On the charge of plot to break civil rights under law color, we find the defendant guilty. Diana lets a small smile show. The first guilty call in a case built on 15 years of wait. On the charge of evidence messing, guilty. On the charge of false lockup, guilty, 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 guilty. Each call echoes through the courtroom like thunder. Bradley gets 12 years in federal lockup. Wilson draws 15, Morrison pulls 20. Their badges meant nothing. Their uniforms gave no shield. Federal law hits everyone. Diana's court talk sealed their end. Cool, pro, crushing. She retold every planted drug charge, every illegal search, every rights break. The jury heard with rising shock as the rot size showed. Not single bad acts. Total crime group. After sentencing, Diana steps into the courthouse hall. Reporters swarm with questions. Agent Marshall, how long did this probe take? 15 years of careful noting. What message does this send? Diana thinks on the question. Justice needs patience, guts, and folks ready to work inside the system to fix it. She pauses, picks words close. Truth doesn't vanish. It waits for the right time to rise. The reporters write fast. This quote leads tomorrow's news. Sarah Johnson walks through the crowd. She gave court talk for the side of right, turned evidence, picked conscience over rot. Agent Marshall, Diana turns. Thank you for letting me do the right thing. You made that choice yourself. Johnson's court words were key, the inside view that backed Diana's proof. Her job lived, moved to federal teamwork. A fresh start won by moral guts. Diana walks to her car, passing protesters on the courthouse steps. Signs call for cop fix. Community voices finally heard. Some changes hit overnight. Others take decades. This probe started with quiet talk of planted evidence. It ended with federal guilty calls and total fix. New training rules set. Body cam needs stronger. Federal watch wider. The community heal starts slow. Trust rebuilds one meet at a time. Diana's phone buzzes. Rodriguez calling from HQ. Great work, Marshall. The rot team wants to talk your next job. Diana looks back at the courthouse. Justice done. But more work waits. What's the case? Immigration hold centers. Total abuse claims. Could take years to build. Years of undercover work, patient-proof grab. Steady justice build. I'll take it. This is what she does. Who she is. Federal agent, truth finder, justice builder. Fix doesn't hit overnight. But it hits one rot system at a time. One patient probe at a time. Diana drives from the courthouse, knowing her next case file waits. The work goes on. The mission lasts. Justice late isn't justice gone when truth keepers push. Morrison serves 20 years in federal prison. Bradley 12, Wilson 15. Their victims get payback. Their crimes go in forever record. And Diana Marshall heads back to the field, ready to spend another 15 years building the next case because rot hides in dark. But federal agents work in light. And light always wins. The community rebuilds. The system fixes. The truth lives. One case at a time. One patient probe at a time. Justice done through heart, push, and total hold to law rights. Diana's next case starts tomorrow. The work never stops. But neither does the mission. Truth, justice, federal law even on all. Even on those who wear badges. Especially those who wear badges. You've seen the story. Now, what will you do with it? At Black Notebook, we believe thinking is good, but action is better. Subscribe, share, speak because awareness is just the first step.